All right, here we go. Week 1 of the high school football season is officially here, and with that brings Quick Slant back. This is your weekly video series from the Daytona Beach News Journal and the St. Augustine Record, breaking down the biggest games of the week and what you need to be watching. I'm Chris Vinel. I'm a new guy around here, so bear with me, but we do have the expert with us, and that would be Chris Boyle. Chris Boyle, how are we doing?
Expert's quite the compliment and the overstatement, but I'm doing well, and we're glad to have you here, Chris. I know that replacing Zach is going to be quite the challenge. He's the one that hired you, though, so why don't you give yourself a little bit of an introduction?
Yeah, I am by no means Zach Dean. I can't claim that I'm the sports editor or anything, but I am another high school sports reporter, and you'll see me out and about. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, which is a pretty good hotbed for high school football talent in the Midwest. But I'm quickly learning you got some serious talent down here too. And the good news is we don't even have to wait until Friday this week to see it during week 1. We have 3 Thursday games, starting with Seabreeze, Spruce Creek. We have Winter Springs, Daytona, and Pine Ridge, Matanzas. What do you make of those 3 Thursday games?
Yeah, I think Seabreeze and Spruce Creek's the one that'll definitely have the biggest sizzle as far as this area is concerned. Those teams kind of meet every season in week 1 or so, it seems. Spruce Creek's had their number recently, so for Seabreeze, if they can find a quarterback, they do have some skill players that can do some damage with the ball. They've worked on a few things with Zelly Hayworth and Hayden Hayes, the 2 players vying for the job to replace Blake Boda. But Spruce Creek is definitely a formidable task, and I do think that they will have a chance to go back to the playoffs this year after an 8-1 season and a district title last year.
For sure. Let's move on to Friday, your more traditional slate of opening games. And I know there's a bunch that you have circled, but we're gonna go into a couple here. Let's start with Bowles St. Augustine.
This was a fun one last year. You go back and look at the tape, and this was Devontae Lyons' coming out party for St. Augustine. He had 159 all-purpose yards at halftime, had 2 touchdowns against a defense that at that point of the season hadn't given up a point. They'd played 2 full games and hadn't conceded any points. So it was an impressive performance. And St. Augustine, a lot of youth on that roster, as you saw on the weekend covering their scrimmage with Spruce Creek, but there's talent. There's some players that by their senior years, whether it's 2024, 2025, that they think can be Division I prospects. And they start the year 10th in Class 3S this season. This is a matchup of top 10 teams in the USA Today Florida Network poll. Bowles starts the year at number 8 in Class 2M, 2 Metro.
Yeah, I talked to Brian Braddock last week at that St. Augustine Spruce Creek scrimmage, and he said with that youth, there's going to be a lot of good, just plays that make you go, wow. And then there's going to be some bad that comes with that, but they're going to need their A game to take on or compete with Bowles here, and it should be a good matchup. Let's go to Mainland DeLand, another 2 teams, in the area that have some interesting storylines going on with them this season.
Yeah, this will be where I'm at. I'll be at Daytona Stadium on back-to-back nights, and I'll go down to the Speedway Saturday for the race. Might as well pitch a tent out there. DeLand hired Rick Darlington back in December, 3-time state champion coach at Apopka. He's going to bring his brand of football. He loves to run out of the wing, so it's going to be relentless attack, and Mainland had better be ready for 48 minutes to try to slow down some good skill players there between TJ Moore, DeMonte Johnson, Javon Ross, and they have some big size. With Rick's hiring, they bring in his son Wyatt, who's going to be a fullback for them and one of their lead blockers. It's going to be a tough test, but Mainland has kind of that new breed of talent. They've got a lot of juniors on this team and younger players that are top tier kind of talents between James Randall, the wide receiver, LJ McCray at defensive end, Xavier Mincy, defensive back, if he's available to play the game, because I know he missed last week. But they've got 3 juniors that are going to be national level recruits over the course of the next cycle. So this is a team I think that can go very far into the playoffs. I look at their region. I think that at least 3 rounds is a potential for the Bucks. Maybe getting back to that Final Four where they've been dreaming of getting back to for so long.
I saw DeLand in their spring game, and of course they were running that Darlington offense from 1917, but they have some very 2022 athletes on that squad. I mean, they're athletic, they're big, and they're going to give Mainland a test. And Mainland, we saw them last week in their week 0 scrimmage put up 28 points in the second quarter. So they can score as well. They can do it quickly. And of course, they have some big athletes over there as well. Let's go to Bartram Trail and Ponte Vedra. What are you watching there?
I'm watching the battle in the trenches. I think Ponte Vedra's defense, it's shut out Mandarin, a pretty good Mandarin team last week against a mostly new line for Bartram Trail. If they can, get pressure in the backfield, if they can make it uncomfortable for Riley Trujillo and to slow down Lathan Biddle and the running game for Bartram Trail, I definitely think Ponte Vedra's got a shot to win this game. They were very close last year. It was 26-24 in Bartram's favor, a game that I can assure you that Ponte Vedra believes that deep down they should have won on that night. So they will be motivated. And I think this is going to be one of the more improved teams around here this year. I think the Sharks are going to be a playoff contender. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they get there. They've got a really physical play up front on both sides of the ball.
And that's exactly what we love week 1. Just come out, just smashing people, Those are your 3 circled games. I know those are the ones you have your eyes on the most. But who else should we watch this weekend? Is there anything else you're kind of gauging?
Well, I think Beachside is definitely one of the more interesting stories. A brand new school opening up in St. John's. They're playing a team that was in the exact same spot this time a year ago in Tokoi Creek. I think that is going to be a very fun atmosphere. It'll be Tokoi's first ever week 1 game on home soil. Last year they didn't get a home game until the end of October, so it should be a good atmosphere for them. It should be an interesting matchup between 2 coaches who have really formed a good relationship between Pete Duffy and Mike Kolakovsky, who again are undergoing very similar situations. I think Creekside against Vieira is a game that I've got kind of in my mind. I think it'd be a really fun game. And then Flagler Palm Coast, beginning the year number 9 in Class 4S, I think was a little bit of a surprise perhaps. But this is a team I think is going to be extremely fast and physical at the second level on defense with Rodney Hill and Ashton Bracewell. They can take the football away, and their running game I think is going to be a big problem for a lot of opponents. They take on a stingy Sewanee team that played one of the toughest schedules in the state last year. You go back and look at their record. They were 3-7. Their rating on Max Preps for their strength of schedule was 18.8. That's a huge number.
Yeah, and FPC is no slouch either. So they're going to have their hands full come week 1. I know a guy that you've been high on is Dennis Murray Jr., their quarterback, and they can light it up as well. So good matchups all around. Anything else we should be looking at?
Just follow us on Twitter on Friday night. You're at Chris A. Vinel. I am Chris Boyle DBNJ. Meyer Lee will be at that Beachside Tokoi game. He's at the Square Scriv. Ward Clayton will have the Ponte Vedra Bartram Trail game, and we'll also have Jason Lucas out to cover East River and New Smyrna Beach. So that should be plenty of comprehensive coverage. We got 5 guys out to do the job, and we're ready to go. I mean, we've been kind of chomping at the bit. And I didn't get to see a game last week on Friday because we had the weather. So I'm ready. I'm ready to see something, some big games, and to see if any of these teams can make a run with the Metro Suburban split. A few of them I know are legitimately thinking big picture, and let's get it going.
So moral of the story is we've got you covered. We're hoping for no rain, but rain or shine, we will be here pretty much every week. Every Thursday is the goal that we will be here on Quick Slant. So be sure to keep checking back and check back in between for all our coverage. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.